Good morning, Team 7A Science. Hope this finds you all doing well. We're still in distance learning. This is our third week. Hope you have power. Sorry about the late posting. I lost power yesterday, and I kind of didn't want to put my generator on because I knew the power would come back soon, so I patiently waited, or maybe not patiently waited. I don't know. My kids are a little grumpy about it, but anyways, it's back on. So here I am explaining what to do. So just a couple things. In Aspen, there are M's if your work is missing. Don't worry about it right now. Because when I was doing my work yesterday, that's when I lost power. So I think I was like halfway through core D, grading things. So I'm going to be finishing D&E, and then I'm going to update Aspen by noon today. All right. So if you see M's and you're like, I turned that in, don't worry. Give me till about noon because I lost power. So I wasn't able to do anything. All right. And I was being stubborn about plugging in my generator. Sorry. Anyways, I will get all caught up. But if after I update Aspen and you still have M's, that means missing. M is for missing. You have until Friday to change those and turn them in. Otherwise, they're going to show up as zeros after Friday. Okay. Yes, you could still turn them in. No worries. But I need to kind of switch those over to zeros and then move on to the next step. Okay. But of course, you can turn your work in. All right. Some of you got back your bio bottles. You can, of course, fix them, send them back in. Use the rubric I sent you, use the little hints that I sent you, submit it back in. Whatever's easier for you. If it's easier to put it on a piece of paper, take a picture of it and put it into like a Google slide. Fine. I'm fine with that. However you want to submit it, I'm fine with it. Okay. Just a couple things. I want to go over some of the changes I made. So when you check Google Classroom, I kind of moved things around. I made a whole lot of categories for you to hopefully help you find your work easier. So you have week 1 of distance learning. Those are all the assignments that were posted for that first week. Week 2 of distant learning, then those would be the assignments for week 2 of distance learning. I put the Yellowstone project under projects, but I think I might move it to week 2 of distance learning. I think that might be easier for you to understand because that was last week's work and it's filing into this week's work. Maybe I'll just call it week 3. Maybe I'll just rename projects to week 3 of distance learning. I'll figure it out. If you're still trying to turn in some work when we were in school, that's listed under old work before COVID-19, and I have copies of the assignments. Some of them you can answer right in Google Classroom. Some of them, you got to print, answer, and then take a picture and send back in, or just write the answers on a blank Google Doc, send it in. However you want, get it in. Okay, if you're still in that category, turning in work from before we started distance learning. Okay, and then there's the quiz. So same thing with the quiz. We had that photosynthesis quiz. A lot of you, not a lot, but some still need to do that quiz. I might also move that over to week 1 because that's listed under quiz. And warm-up questions, okay? So warm-up questions are all listed by day, and they are in their own warm-up question category. So I just wanted to give you a heads up as to what you might see in Google Classroom, kind of what I updated. So I want to talk about your project, okay? So for your projects, you went in and you chose which issue you wanted to research for your project, okay? And I sent you a template for that. If you didn't go in and pick your topic, I picked one for you, okay? So when you open it, you will see your topic page, okay? Maintaining biodiversity in Yellowstone National Park. I'm kind of looking, that's why I'm tilting my head. And then it has what you're researching, wildfires, buffalo, scientists, whatever you chose. The first page, when you click on that, gives you your directions, what you need to do each day. So leave this direction page untouched. Write the responses on the white slides when you get to them. Use complete sentences, good grammar, complete all the slides, proofread them, spell check them, all that great stuff, right? Make sure it makes sense, okay? We chunked out the project for you. So Thursday was technically day one. Thursday, you should have done anywhere from slides 1 to 6, 1 to 8, depending on which project you receive. Okay. In general, you got a thinking question for number one. Explain in your own words what biodiversity is. So that means you kind of need to finish week 2 assignments because those were all about biodiversity. All right. Look through the notes I sent you about biodiversity and try to come up with your own words what it means to you. Okay. The next slide. How does biodiversity support a healthy ecosystem? We put a big parentheses in there. So, how does biodiversity help an ecosystem? We want our ecosystems to be healthy, right? So that means all the critters in there have things to eat, they have places to live, they have lots of resources, water, all those great things, right? So in parentheses, we put think bigger food webs, which means, right, if they have more choice to eat, then they're probably going to be healthier, right? Because say a snake only could eat mice in that one ecosystem and then all the mice scampered away, what's going to happen to the snake? Not good, right? But if there was like a whole bunch of critters, think of a big food web, right? All those great arrows, then they're going to have a lot of choices. Okay, so it's going to be really good, right? Then you got then you have your directions, and most of you have park managers and staff forever struggle with problems due to preserving and allowing people to use the land. And your scenario is going to be a little different. Challenges becomes increasingly difficult as more people visit parks. All right, so you're going to get your little scenario. All right, then you're going to get another page that you are a Yellowstone Park Ranger and you're on that team. You must make a decision that will affect whatever your scenario is in the park. And you read your dilemma. Now, on your dilemma gives you a whole bunch of information. All right. Then it gives you some possible solutions. Okay. So in your dilemma, we also have bolded, it's in bold letters. So that's really what you're copying. Those possible solutions, you can use one of those. No big deal. You can make up your own. Big deal, whatever you want to do. Okay. So then once you get to the next slide, you have to write down what your dilemma is. So you can literally just copy it from the page before where we have dilemma. You can put it in your own words. Great. That would be super. If you're struggling with that, just copy it and then try to come up with it later. Okay. Then the next slide is we want you to kind of look through 2 resources. Okay, try to read 2 resources. We gave you in each project a bunch of sites you can use for your resources, and this is where you're pulling your evidence. Okay, you can also go on and find other articles as well. All right, if you go on to like yellowstone.gov, you're going to find a whole bunch of things. Okay, you can just keep searching and searching other articles. All right. So you read those articles. Then you go back to come up with 2 possible solutions, okay? 1 or 2, again, depending which project you're on. We're either looking for 1 solution or 2 solutions. You have to talk about the pros and cons. So on the next slide, once you come up with your solutions, either ones you totally thought of or go back to the slide where we gave you possible solutions and pick 2 of those, okay? So you can pick 2 of the ones that we already gave you. Okay, totally fine. Come up with pros and cons. Pros, good. Cons, bad. Right? And either you're giving either 1 or 2 pros or cons for each, depending what your slide says. Okay. So you have to go through those slides, come up with the solution, write the solution where it says name it, you write the solution, and then you give the pros or cons. Okay. From there, you're going to figure out which one do you think is going to work better. All right. There is no right or wrong answer. You're picking, right? You are deciding which one do you think is going to work better. Okay. What do you think is going to work better? All right. So as long as you provide your problem, right? And then you have your evidence and your reasoning, all right? So you're going to be pulling your evidence, right, from this. You're going to be good, all right? The next slide, long-term consequences. So what's one good thing, okay, and one bad thing? One positive is a good thing from your solution. One negative is a bad thing about your solution, all right? So just come up with what do you think it might be? And again, for some it might be 2, for some it's 1, okay, depending on which slide show you receive, okay? So I'm kind of doing like a broad overview of this, all right? And why is maintaining your last slide? Why is maintaining biodiversity of Yellowstone National Park important? Give a reason, give 2 reasons, okay, whatever your number is, okay? Why is it important to keep Yellowstone National Park? Okay, all right. So for this, again, there's no right or wrong answers, right? You're chunked out what to do each day. If you have any problems, send me a message. I will get back to you. Right now, this project is due Friday at midnight. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.